Hello and good afternoon from Universal Orlando. So I'm here today because from the day that I'm here, Halloween Horror Nights starts in about a week and I haven't been here in a while. I really want to check out the scare zones and the potential for the new Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses, the entrances to those particular houses at Universal Studios Florida. But first, I think I'm gonna head over to Islands of Adventure for some lunch. So where I'd like to go for lunch is hopefully in the Lost Continent because I've never eaten there before, and I also want to go to the Hallows Eve Boutique. I don't think that'll be at Islands of Adventure very long because there is going to be a storm at some point, it looks like, so I want to maximize my time at Universal Studios as much as possible. We'll take the awnings for the ticketing area. They're being changed out currently because I'm pretty positive that they all used to look like this over here. See, now I'm having hesitations over what is new and what is old. They're definitely not here at the moment. There's this tan one right here, and I'm pretty sure that they all used to be yellow and red, but I guess I'll see what it ends up looking like whenever they're completed with it. Alright, I made it inside Islands of Adventure. It looks like there's construction walls straight ahead. I'm sure that this is just a paint touch-up refurbishments of the facade, but it's still pretty intimidating with all of the scaffolding around this building. This is the Port of Entry Christmas shop, and it does look like it is open currently during the construction process, so that's cool. Okay, so I'm heading over to the Lost Continent, so I'll be heading, I guess, counterclockwise around the lagoon. I generally try to be consistently consistent when I choose the direction that I take around Islands of Adventure, similarly with Epcot, so that's always fun. They still have not put back this connecting piece heading into Seuss Landing, and now I'm pretty convinced that they are not going to. It's funny, when Green Eggs and Ham opened up, I was convinced that I was going to eat there literally all the time, and I haven't in a while, but I've definitely thought about it, but I do want to try somewhere new today. My hope is to finally eat at the Shish Kebab restaurant in Lost Continents. Either there or the Fire Eater restaurant, whichever one is actually open. I've tried to check the times on the app, and they're not listed for the Shish Kebab restaurant, so we'll see. Okay, I'm heading into the Lost Continents, and I do have quite an appetite, so let's see what's open. The clouds are getting pretty dark. It's getting slightly windy, but that should not really impact my day today. Hopefully not. Alright, so that is the Fire Eater's Grill, but I'm heading straight ahead to hopefully get a shish kebab. This is Doc Sagru's Desert Kebab House. They have a beef kebab combo, a chicken kebab combo, and then a vegan meatball kebab combo, as well as a Greek salad combo. So over there is the Hallows Eve Boutique. I just got my food right here, and I need to find a place to eat it. So I actually really had to walk around to try to find a spot to eat this. So this was about $17 after tax for the kebab and chips. So I ended up getting the beef kebab combo. And it says all kebabs are brushed with a shroomoula marinade, served on pita bread with ajvar sauce, caramelized onions, and crumbled feta. And then it's served with a side of chips, a choice of chips, and I ended up getting the cinnamon sugar chips. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this and enjoy this, and then head over to the Hallows Eve Boutique. Okay, so I just finished up with my kebab, which I ate way over there, and it was delicious, pretty much like the sign says. So it was very flavorful. There was a lot of different combinations of flavors, but I really did enjoy it, with the exception of the meat, which was very tough, but it was also very well seasoned. But I definitely sort of broke a sweat just trying to eat the meat from the kebab, which might have also been due to the fact because it was spicy sauce that was on there as well, but it was still very delightful. But now I'm heading into the Hallows Boutique right over there. We're doing another tribute store photo opportunity. There's really nothing in particular that I'm looking for in here right now. I just want to go inside and look around. They've officially announced all of the houses and scare zones for Halloween Horror Nights, so I'm imagining that they're selling a lot of the merchandise for the event, especially with it starting in about a week. The detail here is just absolutely incredible. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I'm very intrigued by all that I see currently. So here's one of the shirts for Halloween Horror Nights. I know that this particular character, Lil Boo, is going to be featured a good amount. This is definitely pretty intimate location, but the attention to detail here is very cool, and it is getting me pretty excited for Halloween Horror Nights, without a doubt. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and head out. I don't really have much of an interest in showcasing Halloween Horror Nights merchandise, but I just wanted to sort of see the aesthetic of this year in particular, and I think that it's going to be pretty centered around just generic Halloween. There's some ghosts and witches and pumpkins. That sounds pretty cool. Alright, so I'm heading out of Islands of Adventure and over to Universal Studios Florida to see the scare zones and Halloween Horror Nights. house entrances, but first, I think I am going to come over here to Fire Eater's Grill. Okay, so what I ended up getting from the Fire Eater's Grill here is the chocolate chip cookie dough cup, which I'm pretty sure that I always knew was here, but I continually forgot about, and this place closes reasonably more early than other restaurants around Islands of Adventure. They also have gyros here, which that's pretty cool. And while I enjoy this, I'm turning around and heading over to Universal Studios. It does look like the weather somehow went away. Of course, I'm taking this slightly quieter area behind Zeus Landing to get back to the front of the park. It might actually rain. I can see it's a little bit darker over there, but maybe it's moving further away. I know that I did not do much at all at Islands of Adventure today, but I'd like to try to stay focused on reasonably Halloween-themed content today. So I don't have too much time by the time that I make it over to Islands of Adventure, so I'll have to be a little bit more expedited by the time that I make it there. I was considering taking the train over from Hogsmeade, but I think it'll be quicker to walk. Okay, so a little bit of an update on this. It is very good, and it is very worth the price. I think this was about $4, and then I could get a discount on top of that, so that was awesome. This is pretty interesting. They're doing some construction over here, it looks like, with some walls, so I'm heading out of the side exit. This is the other side of it over here. That's very interesting. I wonder what they're working on. Okay, and I'm heading over to Universal Studios Florida. I'll be honest, I'm not incredibly familiar with the announcements of the houses and the scare zones. I generally like to be surprised when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, and I don't get that obsessively interested in the consistent updates of houses and scare zones pretty much until the event actually starts, which is why I'm here pretty much a week out just to see what's going on right now. Thankfully, there are a lot of other vloggers with more assertive ambitions and punctuality when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights updates. Pretty sure the event's starting in about a week. At any point, they're probably going to be putting up at least the intellectual property houses here outside of the arches here to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Florida, as well as the emblem that's going to be right in between the arch right there. Alright, so I made it inside Universal Studios, and I can already see a significant amount of progress down here in Production Central. I am very excited to see this. I've seen pictures here and there of the construction progress of the scare zones for Halloween Horror Nights, but just seeing it in person is very cool. I doubt that they're 100% done by any means, but look at all of that. I haven't been here in a long time. So there is a massive pumpkin here at the entrance to Production Central, pretty much right outside of what used to be Shrek 4D. It's pretty much diagonal from Despicable Me, and then further on down the streets, there's some even more pumpkins and vines, and then this entirety, this scaffolding with just hundreds of pumpkins just suspended in the air between Despicable Me and what used to be Shrek 4D. Visually, I am certain that this is going to be an incredible scare zone. It's going to be coupled with the scare actors and the lighting package, without a doubt. Every single pumpkin here has presumably a different expression. And of course, right there in the center, that is Little Boo, who is a pretty significant pumpkin in the Halloween Horror Nights community, apparently. I'm sure I'll have plenty more time to just look at these pumpkins individually. Probably not during Halloween Horror Nights, because I'll be getting scared by scare actors. But I think this scare zone, I don't even know what it is, honestly, but I'm the most excited for this one in particular. There's even a scarecrow right here with more vines and pumpkins. This is somewhat a little bit random, at least for me. Just all of this candy in this scare zone. I know that there's supposed to be a candy scare zone. I think that that's over in New York, but there's candy also here in Production Central, right outside of the Super Silly Stuff store. This is a little bit sad. It's almost completely hollow inside where used to be the Monsters Cafe. As far as the construction progress on this and Shrek 4D, it's rumored that they're both going to be turned into Minion-related attraction and food and beverage alternatives. The sign is completely gone as well, and there's no stanchions over here. This Music Plaza area over by Riptide Rocket, which this is normally a huge house entrance right here, so I'm sure that they're going to be setting up the stanchions for this probably pretty soon. Okay, so now I'm heading in the direction of New York and then Gramercy Park, and there are a ton of food booths over here. There's a bar that's getting set up in the Transformers extended queue, and I don't think I'm going to be focusing on the particular menu items quite yet. I'll explore that with Brennan once we actually come to the events, but they have a lot of booths open, and then this area is finally open again after the construction walls, which are still down over there, used to be over here, but they're gone now. Okay, actually, I lied, because if I look at the menu now, then that'll save us a little bit of time when we actually come to the event and we decide what we want in advance, because it's probably going to be pretty chaotic. So they have a no chance in hell PB&J, fried Oreos and fried Twinkies. And then this one right next to it, what does this one have? This one has a Haunted Horseshoe and Killer Stovetop Popcorn Custard. Mostly I'm just talking about the foods, and then just all of the specialty beverages and canned drinks are there as well. So that was those two, right across from the bar. The Transformers extended queue. Now I'm gonna go see what they have over here. Probably just drinks. Okay, so yes, right across from Race to New York, they just have some beers on tap, and then some mixed drinks, and then some canned beer and wine, I guess. Okay, so now I'm backtracking a little bit back over to the food booths over here, and then I'll head into New York to look at that scare zone. This is probably the calmest this street is going to be once the event actually starts. So there are a couple booths right here. Of course, they have the Twisted Taters, and then the Twisted Tater Blood and Guts, and then the Fiery Twisted Tater with Queso, and then Petrified Rat Tails, Major Sweets Ice Cream Sandwich, and then a Spicy Turkey and Squash Bun. And then finally, at the very end of the streets, they have an African Lentil and Potato Sambusa Coffin, a Tombstone Red Velvet Cake Pop Lil Boo's Spicy Pumpkin Bun, and Pepperoni Pizza Skulls. Well, that's fun, and this is right outside of Revenge of the Mummy, which, as of right now, has not reopened, which is very weird. Okay, so to my knowledge, they rethemed what used to be the summer tribute store, and they just made it spooky. So I'm sure that the inside is very different, but they seemingly kept the outside facade for this because it's a haunted movie theater. And then directly across from the tribute store is part of the New York Scare Zone. Here, I think that this is the candy-themed Scare Zone that they have set up right now, even with some corn stalks, it looks like. I think that's what that is, and there's some more over here next to the Mummy. I certainly hope that they open up the Mummy by the time Halloween Horror Nights starts, because that is a massive attraction to have open for Halloween Horror Nights. So I know that they've been doing previews for it, I think, for team members at least. So it's got to be at some point soon that they open it up. At least I hope so. Looks like they kind of pushed the walls back a little bit back over here because you can see the Blues Brothers stage again, which is good. So there's some sort of activity going on back here at the Meats Locker, and they have some very interesting food. So they have fried zombie brains, spicy fried chicken offals, spoiled angry bear meat, sour beet and gummy heart, and fresh ground princess. This is back over here at Meats. I think that they've been opening up these booths a little bit early, so maybe they're getting ready to open up the booth, potentially. I'm definitely very full for my shish kebab over at Islands of Adventure, but we'll definitely have to get back here. It's pretty cool that this is just in Sting Alley, that they're just utilizing this location. Also, I didn't really talk about it, but back over here, there are generally 2 house entrances to the sound stages back there, so I'm sure that that'll be consistent this year. Right outside of Louis is another booth which does not have a menu, but is presumably just going to probably have mixed drinks and beers. So allegedly there's going to be a house entrance over by Fast and Furious Supercharged. I don't know if the attraction itself is going to be open for Halloween Horror Nights, but I think that it's supposed to be back over there. Okay, next is the San Francisco Scare Zone, which this one's always been a little bit of a miss in terms of hit or miss. That is not to say at all that it's not going to be incredibly cool this year. I don't know why they tend to put the awkward properties over here in recent years, that it's never been very impressive to me, but this does look pretty cool. This is at the exit of Fast and Furious Supercharged, and it looks like this one's going to have a witchcraft theme, so this definitely does have a lot of potential. Okay, so I take it back. This actually does look very cool, just in terms of the aesthetic and the detail, so I am very much so interested in just what this Scare Zone has to offer. There's a lot of potential for real scares here, and just the theme is very cool. I'm heading through the Wizarding World, and I almost walked past this, so there's another bar over here with some specialty beverages, and where would this be? Probably like over here, around the corner. Just a quick little bar to get some beer or pretty much just some beer and some cocktails, it looks like. Okay, so there it is, just right around the corner from Lombard's. And I'm heading through Potter, which infamously has nothing to do with Halloween Horror Nights. I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a show in what used to be the Fear Factor Stadium, which is straight ahead, but we can just come back to that when the event is actually going on. I'm heading over here. So this was here in previous years. I think that's just a photo opportunity, but there's a really cool and unique booth straight ahead here, this massive pumpkin. Okay, so the pumpkin booth does not have a menu yet, and then I walked over to this booth, which also does not have a menu, and here I am outside of the Fear Factor Stadium, where the new show is going to be, which does not have a sign as of yet. And then also in between the stadium and Men in Black, this used to be a entrance to Halloween Horror Nights house, but I don't know if that is an entrance this year. This might be what was replaced by the Fast and Furious house. Okay, so heading around the corner towards the Simpsons area, there's a booth over here that does not have a menu quite yet, and then also over here, this is where 2 house entrances usually are for Halloween Horror Nights. I wonder if that's going to be consistent. Sometimes Springfield is an unofficial scare zone with just roaming chainsaw people. I don't know if that's going to be an aspect this year, but you never know. I know that they took out Chief Wiggum and his police car way over here by Lord Lad Donuts, probably to make a little bit more room for the Stay and Scream zone, which is generally here and then over in New York. And then heading out of Springfield and into KidZone, there are a ton of food booths over here. Here they have the Good Guys Burger, Wanna Play Beignet, and Chili Lee Ray, as well as some drinks. And then right across from that one is another food booth. And here they have, of course, the Twisted Tater Blood and Guts, and then the Fiery Twisted Tater with queso, so you can get that at a couple places. And then heading into KidZone, where there are 2 other house entrances in KidZone itself. We have a garlic Philly cheese steak, and then a Mummy's Curse tablet cookie, as well as some drinks there. And then the one over here does not have a menu quite yet. Generally though, you can get pizza fries back over here at KidZone Pizza, so I'm sure that that's what you'll be able to get it this year. It seems like this scare zone has been the quietest and the slowest to develop here. Just this one that's heading into Hollywood Boulevard. This is interesting. I do not have any idea what this particular scare zone it is, but it is just a lot of wood. So there's a lot of just wood on either side. And then there's this like elevated platform down over here. This seems to be just the least finished area so far, or maybe it'll just be so dark it's not even going to matter, just the dramatics of it. Oh, this might be a Dia de los Muertos section. I think that actually makes sense and sort of rings a bell just due to the food booth over there. But look at this, there's a really cool windmill right here. I'm having to lean all the way back to show it off. Okay, so what do they have in this incredibly bright neon food booth? Oh, there's actually quite a lot that they have here. I'm not gonna read every single thing that they have. I don't even know if you can see it because it's very, very bright just in terms of the reflection in the camera. But it'll be fun to come back and explore and experience. I have one final scare zone right over here. There's also a food booth right there as well. Okay, so this is right across from Transformers, and this is pretty much just another generic bar where they have some canned beers, wines, drafts on tap, and it looks like a specialty cocktail. Okay, so finally, the final scare zone is this one in Production Central, which has been here the longest, but they have added a lot to it. This area is just so much more detailed. Now I'm pretty sure that the majority of it is the same. They just put out a lot of vegetation here, just detailed the sense that they already have a little bit more thoroughly. This is really detailed, and you do not really get this perspective during the actual event itself. I don't really want to ruin every aspect of this scare zone, but then just appreciating the detail is just a super cool part of this, just on either side of the street. Also, there was generally another house entrance over here by Shrek, but that's currently under construction. I think that they might still be utilizing that house. Okay, so I think I'm probably heading out of the park now. I just wanted one last trip before Halloween Horror Nights actually started, just to take in the detail before we go to the event. Yeah, so right over there, that's what would normally be the entrance to one of Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses, so I'm curious what they end up doing this year. They are doing 10 full houses, so just a matter of where they're going to be. Okay, so that was my super last minute walk around Universal Studios Florida, just to sort of familiarize myself with the different scare zones, house entrances, and potential for getting scared and excited at Halloween Horror Nights this year. So I do not think that I'm going to be able to come to the actual opening night of Halloween Horror Nights this year, unfortunately, because of course I actually work that night, but I will definitely be back with Brennan, and it'll be very exciting to see what this all looks like once they finally put up the decorations for it. It was a pretty quick trip to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, but ultimately I got to do exactly what I wanted to do, and I've been wanting to do for quite a little while, so I'm happy. Okay, I'm heading back to the garage. Of course, I parked all the way at the very end of the garage, all the way over there. Gotta get my exercise, I guess. Okay, so I pretty much made it back to my car. I don't know why I took the moving walkway, because it was not moving. Thank you for hanging out with me today at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. Just getting to go over 2 islands and have a little lunch and dessert that I've never had before, and getting to go into the Hallows Eve Boutique, which was really cramped, but it was fun. And then going over to Universal Studios Florida to see all of the updates, and they're almost ready. I'm pretty convinced that they're, because it starts next week, that they are almost done with those scare zones and then the Horror Nights relative locations. I think that I didn't mention the house, I think, that enters over by Race Through New York. But other than that, I think I mentioned the majority of the locations where they're probably going to be. I don't really know. I get excited for Halloween Horror Nights. I don't really get as intense about it as a lot of other people do when it comes to the consistent updates when it comes to props and houses and scare zones, but I still have such a good time, and I'm excited to come back and check it out with Brennan in the future. So thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. I'm out of breath, and goodbye.